Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Rotor Talk Live, Season 8, Episode 37. DJI Mini 5 Pro releases 9/17/2025. Hope everyone is doing well this evening. Ron's going to be joining me here in a little bit. Adjusted the camera angle. I did that last night while I was in the middle of Drone Nation, and really, I think it looks much better. Of course, I look great to begin with. You know, I got the new teeth and all that. So, yeah, I have to, all my adoring fans. I'm having some fun with you guys. Hope you guys are doing well. Got a full show lined up tonight. And as a reminder to everybody, tomorrow morning, I'm going to be on with Mr. Ron Brown and Johnny Alfonso probably, and a cast of others to talk about the release of the Mini 5 Pro. And we got that coming up here in a little bit. We're going to be giving some full credence to that. You want to stick around because I'm also going to show you what to look for on eBay because it's a little bit different, and I want to walk you through it so you make sure that you're able to navigate through all that, because I think that's important. You need to do that. And before we get started tonight, okay, and I don't see him in the chat. I don't know if he's here yet or not, but make sure everybody wishes a very happy birthday to Johnny Drone Flyer, Johnny Alfonso. Johnny, you're 29 or 28 today. I don't know. But if you could, regardless of the fact, we hope you have a very happy birthday today. We're very thankful for you in the drone community. We really, it's a pleasure being a friend of yours, and you do a great job. And thank you for all you do for the drone community as well too. So. And I enjoyed being on Drone Nation with you last night. So, okay. Well, make sure you guys wish Johnny a happy birthday. Okay. I actually got several things to talk about besides the Mini 5 Pro tonight. Believe that or not. Wow. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead. Go figure that. One of the things, and then we're going to, we spend at the end of the show, we talk about football, but before we do that, and I want to call your attention to this I'm going to be having a little commentary at the end here. It's not drone related, but I'm going to be making a few points at the end, and I hope you guys stick around for it because I think it'll be very worthwhile and very meaningful. So, okay, all that being said here, okay, just when you think that DJI is not going to be releasing anything else, well, lo and behold, something else is going to be released, okay? And I was talking to Ron. We were talking about this last night on Drone Nation. I think you guys probably know what I'm going to be presenting here. DJI teases Own the Moment ahead of Osmo Nano launch. This is probably one of the worst kept secrets besides the Mini 5 Pro that's out there. Now, I think from what I understand, and from what I understand what Jasper said on this, I think that they delayed this. And I think it was supposed to come out before the Mini 5 Pro. Well, it's going to be coming out after the Mini 5 Pro, and the release, lo and behold, September 23rd. It's a week from today. It's Tuesday, okay? And don't ask me why. And even I think Jasper Ellens made the comment, for the release for the Mini 5 Pro being on a Wednesday. That's not atypical at all. So here it's September 23rd, of course, 8 a.m. The short clip appears to highlight a modular lens or camera system that magnetically attaches to another device, fueling speculation DJI will formally introduce its much-leaked Osmo Nano camera, okay, Own the Moment here. The teaser builds on a series of earlier leaks, including a September 8th slip, okay, where DJI accidentally published images of the Osmo Nano and featured details shared by DJI rumor specialist Jasper Ellens on August 28th. Together, these releases suggest DJI is positioning the Osmo Nano as its next compact content creation device, okay? And there's a picture of it right there. A rumored pricing, according to the listing spotted at multiple European retailers, the DJI Osmo Nano is expected to be priced at €369 for the 64 gig version and $399 euro for the 128 gigabyte version. These rumored prices align directly with Insta360 Go 3S, making it easy for creators already in the DJI ecosystem to choose the brand they know. For now, it remains unclear whether DJI Osmo Nano will be released in the United States. With regulatory scrutiny and the possibility of future restrictions on DJI sales, American buyers will have to wait for confirmation on availability. Built-in memory, 64 gig or 128 gig, plus an SD card slot. That is interesting, okay? That's really interesting. Magnetic back and sides with switchable polarity for flexible mounting. OLED HD touchscreen for control, live view, and remote shooting. Fast charging, powering the main camera module to 80% in just 20 minutes. Module design expected to appeal to vloggers, travelers, and content creators who want lightweight gear that integrates seamlessly with accessories. Okay, main camera, built-in memory, back and sides are magnetic. Sides can switch magnetization. OLED HD touchscreen controls image and remote shooting. Charges main camera module to 80% in just 20 minutes. SD card slot. All right. On the moment branding signals a marketing push around portability and personal storytelling. If the leaked pricing holds true, DJI is positioning the Osmo Nano as a direct competition to the Insta360 Go Pro in the premium compact camera segment. The September 23rd launch will confirm whether these leaks are accurate and provide clarity on global release plans here. The Osmo Nano's rumored price parity with the Insta360 Go 3S is a smart move by DJI. It lowers the friction for creators to stay within one ecosystem. But the bigger question is availability. The Osmo Nano reach U.S. buyers, or could DJI's regulatory changes keep it off the market? DJI manages the U.S. release. The device could be one of the most attractive compact cameras of the year. Okay, wow. All right, that's a lot. Okay, that is an absolute lot right there, guys. The pricing is attractive on it, and having that dual memory. I mean, think about it. Either 64 or 128 in the main camera module. Okay, and then in the screen module, you can add an SD card to it. So, I mean, that's really kind of incredible with the amount of space that you'll have for something like this. And it's very reminiscent. I'm going to get my tongue rolling right here. It's very reminiscent of the Action 2. Okay, extremely reminiscent. And I know Marcus has really enjoyed the Action 2. He can't say enough nice things about it. Of course, it had the overheating, something or other, but yeah, this sounds like a real deal. And I think yeah, they're right. U.S. availability, it probably won't come out in the United States. So we're going to be faced with, looking on to some of our friends in South Korea and Japan and whatnot over there. Now, we'll be, like I said, I'm going to take you for a full walkthrough on eBay, what's out there right now and available right now to pre-order on eBay, and walking through some of the listings and showing you some of the things to look for on there. Okay, I think it's going to be pretty important. Eddie Nunez, welcome. And I'm sorry, I should have welcomed all you guys. I forgot my big bad on that. Drone shots. John is here. CT Pirate. Joe's here. Akarasho. Old Fart droning on and on. Zach is here. Trini, welcome, Trini. Good to see you. Lou from Drone Angels. Let's see who else. RJ Redding, welcome. Thank you for stopping by. Dr. Ted is here. Welcome, Dr. Ted. We got our Idaho connection here. Lauren, welcome, Lauren. Let's see. Waypoint New England, welcome. Let's see who else we got. Michael Wright, welcome. Fly Guy Merrill, Art is here. Bare Necessities. John Flynn, welcome, John. Lynn Smith. Terry Dugas, good evening. Let's see who else. I'm sorry, I was slipping the Casey Crime Fighter, welcome, my friend. Good to see you as always. Let's see here. Drone Views Media, Lawrence Talbert, Mark White. Welcome, Mark. Good to see you. And Johnny's here. Welcome, Johnny. And again, a very happy birthday to you, Johnny. Hope you enjoy your 28th or 29th birthday. I'll leave you to decide what the number was, and you can share that with us. But no, and Eddie Nunez, welcome, Eddie. It's good to see all you guys tonight. But yeah, it's exciting about this camera. I'm really looking forward to it. I think it has a good price point for it, and I think it'll do very well. I mean, you know, I have my Action 5 Pro, and I just got it, and I love the thing to pieces. It's all in, you know, and I like the modularity of this. That's nice. I think something like the Osmo Nano is going to be good for some B-roll. And what I'm planning on using the Action 5 Pro for, I'm going to do some B-roll with it. I'm also going to do some vlogging with it again. I feel the need. I feel the need to vlog. Okay, much to the chagrins of Valerie. Okay, she's like, oh no. As long as I don't get her in it, we're okay. Okay, that's the deal. All right. So that's how the vlogging handles. So, yeah, drone views. Yeah, we're gonna go over that. Casey Cranford, we're gonna talk about that here coming up here in a little bit. So, but yeah, interesting, very, very, very interesting here. So, now there are a couple other articles that I'm going to share here. This first one here, and this is actually a pretty good guide. DJI drone battery not charging. Here's the ultimate fix guide. Check the charging protocol, and this is a really good graphic that Drone DJ had put up. Product model, QC protocol, QC and PD protocols, and PD protocol. Okay. Most DJI drones use power delivery or PPS, programmable power supply, fast charging. A few models support QC quick charge, which is common in devices with Qualcomm Snapdragon chips. Here's a detailed list of DJI devices and their charging protocols. Okay. The smart controller is one of the only ones that uses the QC protocol. The Mini 2, Mini 2 SE, Mini 4K, and the RC Pro use the QC and PD protocols, and it looks like everything else uses the PD protocol. Okay. Using an incompatible charger can disable fast charging. Always check that your third-party charger supports the right protocol, or better yet, use DJI's official chargers. Okay. And that's a good point to make on this, because you go out to Amazon and there's a lot of these chargers. Here's Ron. Hey, Ron, how are you, sir?
Hello, Bill. How are you tonight?
Doing good. Doing very good.
Good. Before I say anything else, I want to wish Johnny Drone Flyer happy birthday today.
Absolutely. We already got that handled, and I think it's his 28th or 29th. I'm not sure.
Yeah, either one. I wore a shirt in honor of
that. See?
Yeah.
I slipped. I messed up.
I forgot to send you the memo, Bill.
Yep. I forgot the memo. So, but anyway, again, Johnny, happy birthday for the third time. We just want to make sure we're covering bases here. Going over an article on Drone DJ about charging protocol, and it talks about, it's real interesting, Ron. They have the different DJI products here, and whether it's a QC protocol, which is quick charge, or it's a combination of quick charge and power delivery,
right.
Or power delivery. And most of them are power delivery. And the article also talks about using the correct charger for that. And it's kind of a given, but being, you know, within the last 2 or 3 models or so, and probably a little further back, you know, they don't only include a USB cable. So you're kind of on your own as far as a charger is concerned.
They sell their own DJI branded chargers, but you have to buy them separately, even from the Flymore combos. But Bill, what was unusual about the Mavic 4 Pro is kind of throwback drone. It actually came with a charger.
Yes, that's exactly what I've heard. And they give some tips for charger selection. Avoid mixing protocols. Don't charge with bidirectional power banks. PD chargers are safe for all devices. And then talk about check the battery level. check for battery wear, slow charging. Here's why. Quick fixes. When your DJI drone battery won't charge at all. And there's some more guides right here. But this is a very handy guide. And I think, guys, make sure you bookmark this or copy it, or you know what, a lot of times what I do is I'll go through here, either take screenshots of this or cut and paste it and put it in an email to have it for reference for later, because this is a great guide. And you guys should reference this coming up here in the future, I would think. Before sorry about that, Ron. I was trying to close this screen and I closed you by accident.
Oh, that's okay. I said, before we leave chargers, the Mini 5 Pro, whatever, have we had any leaks or anything? Whether it will come with its own charger, we're back in our own like before, where we just have to provide our own.
Yeah, we're gonna that's coming up here in a second. We're gonna get to that and take a look, hopefully, at some of the pictures and everything. Yeah, John. The DJI power supplies also spy for the CCP. More than likely.
Definitely. I just got a note from Miss Stefani telling me that fact.
Yeah, I got one from my senator, Rick Scott. He said, "Yep, they sure do." Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, and that's Casey Crime Friday. That's right. This is a good point. You know, take these things to heart, and you know, these articles are coming out at a real opportune time because we really don't know what's going to go down in December. So one of the primary things that you're going to need to get your head wrapped around is battery care and maintenance, because it may be 2 or 3 years before we see something again from DJI. Just saying, that could happen. So you want to, number one, stock up on batteries, and number two, make sure that you properly care for them and you cycle them properly, because if you do, your batteries are going to last a long time. I mean, that kind of goes without saying, Ron.
Yeah, and the Bill, we have supply and demand as old as anything, right, Bill? And of course, these Korean and Japanese eBay sellers, they're doing the supply and demand here for us on the drones. But I think when they get an inkling that we're getting short on batteries and props, stuff like that, I think they'll also become a black market for that type of stuff.
Guess what? I actually saw a Mavic 4 Pro battery out there in my searches on eBay today for sale from Japan, and very interesting. Okay, so they're, you know, that you bring that up. I think that's a real good point. And guys, this is something that you kind of need to get dialed into right now and be very aware of this. You know, I would not hesitate, if you can source one locally, to get one like that. Be very wary of non-OEM batteries, because that could lead to a lot of trouble, and you want to be very careful. Your first bet, unless you've exhausted all resources, go with an OEM battery. If there isn't any, try to go with one that's has a good rating on it, because there's some that have been sitting out. They've been sitting on shelves for a long time, so you need to be real careful with that. So just kind of throwing all that out there right now. Just want to make sure about that. Okay. We're gonna get to. Oh wow. Okay. Just trying to. I've had one of those days today. Oh my gosh. It's been. Yeah. Okay. So it's now the rest of the show where it's a Mini 5 Pro here.
Okay.
And it's pretty much what we talked about last night. But the first thing that I want to talk about is there's some articles here, and then what we're going to do after going through these articles, we're going to go out to eBay, and I want to kind of take some time and show you guys this. First of all, the Mini 5 Pro teaser not visible on US version of DJI website. This pretty much has been kind of a staple lately. There was the same thing with the Mavic 4 Pro. We just noticed the Mini 5 Pro teaser and notification page is not available in the US version of the DJI website. Fortunately, we see this as an early indication the Mini 5 Pro will likely not be available for US drone pilot enthusiasts. I mean, I would say more than likely, I would say 99.999% chance.
Bill, if it's for sale on the US website tomorrow morning, I'd probably fall off the chair.
Yeah, I think so too. I think all of us will, Ron, like at 8 o'clock in the morning, be like, what's going on here? Okay. DJI's Pro and Mini teaser notification page appear to be missing from US version of DJI's website. Okay. US availability concerns. The teaser page gap on the US site often tracks the product availability decisions, ranging from a delayed rollout to a full market exclusion. For American recreational pilots and working pros, this can complicate planning or upgrades, necessary purchases, and client communications and anticipated immediate product access. Mini 5 Pro does skip the U.S. initially. Secondary import routes could be the only short-term option, typically with higher cost and limited support, okay? Impact on pilots and workflows, talks about this. Regulatory and retail variables. U.S. retail actions could stem from regulatory, policy, or distribution decisions, or the U.S. Customs and Border Protection, none of which are confirmed. If this is a delay rather than a cancellation, U.S. listings may still appear after initial overseas sales begin. Until then, pricing in USD, warranty coverage, and service logistics would remain uncertain for U.S. customers contemplating gray market purchases. Okay, so that's, this is kind of like, they're just stating the obvious here, but I think it's worth going over and worth noting. I know Ron and I and Johnny and Ray and just about 99.999% of us know that it's not going to be on DJI's webpage in the United States tomorrow morning. Okay, that's pretty much going to be a given. All right, it may show up there. Okay, but it will probably, if it does show up, it'll probably say the out of stock message. Okay.
Yeah. But of course, the Mavic 4 Pro is still not even there as a placeholder. Where some of the other products like the 360 camera appeared as a placeholder, said not in stock. So it's going to be interesting tomorrow whether we're going to get a not in stock thing or just not seen at all in there. So that's the only thing that's up in the air, Bill.
Yeah, you're right, Ron. You're 100% right. And next week, and I already talked about it, the Nano's coming out next Tuesday.
The teaser came out already on that, yes.
Right. And I think we're probably going to see, like we just talked about, I think there'll be a placeholder for it, but again, and it will probably say out of stock, and you're going to have to go the eBay route.
If I'm calling a Bill, I'm going to say the Mini 4 Pro is not there at all tomorrow. This just won't even appear.
Yeah, I think you're right. Now, we're going to go to this article on Drone DJ here, and this is probably the last one we'll see before the release here. DJI teases own the moment ahead of Nano launch. Okay. Video, gimbal rotation, 225, true vertical. Again, we went over a lot of this last night. Transmission 04 plus up to 20 kilometers. Flight time up to 36 minutes. Smart battery 52 minutes plus battery. LiDAR detection plus omnidirectional vision. CD or C0 certification by default EU. Camera specifications 50 megapixel, 1-inch CMOS sensor, and f/1.8 aperture. 4K 60 frames per second, 10-bit recording, H.265 and D-Log-M and HLG modes, true vertical shooting in gimbal with 225-degree rotation for creative shots, nightscape omnidirectional obstacle sensing with LiDAR and vision sensors, improved 360 active track, 04 plus 10-bit video transmission up to 20 kilometers, flight time with smart normal battery up to 36 minutes.
No, it's worth mentioning again, we said it last night, but it has 14 stops at a dynamic range. And that's a pretty big deal.
Yes, and it's right here. The Mini 5 Pro integrates a 1-inch CMOS sensor compatible with 4K 60 frames per second HDR video recording with a dynamic range of up to 14 steps to achieve cinematic images. That's Ron, for a drone this size, that's incredible. It really is. Okay.
I think the Mavic 4 Pro is only 17, so it's not that far off.
It's not that far off, exactly. Okay. I'm talking about med tele mode with 2x zoom. The new 48 millimeter med tele mode now offers a higher image resolution than the
digital the review videos that come out tomorrow. I'm going to be really looking forward to see the testing of that mid tele mode.
Same here. That's one thing. We were talking about that last night on Drone Nation, and that's one of the things that I really kind of want to hone in on. And and again, to remind guys that didn't watch that, when you're zooming in and out, you need to be very mindful of the fact, okay, you're not actually seeing you see the zoom, but you're not really seeing what's being recorded, okay? Because what you see on your screen on your RC2 and what's actually on the video are really kind of two different things. All right. HDR compact with cinematic 4K 60 frames per second, slow motion 4K 120 frames per second, 10-bit video and high ISO performance. DJI safe flight with omnidirectional obstacle detection in nightscapes here. Now it's showing that looks like the filter set, the battery charger, the drone, and the controller right here. So I don't think we're going to get an adapter with that, Ron.
What do you mean adapter?
The power adapter like you got with the Mini.
Oh yeah,
Mavic
yeah,
Pro.
right. Yeah.
I don't think we're going to get that. Okay. I mean, this night vision is really sounds very interesting here. 360 active track is going to be very interesting. The smart modes, master shots, quick shots, free panorama, off-state quick transfer, which is as DJI has been happening September 17th. Okay, and here's the kit right here. And again, that's looks like the filters are going to be included with the Fly More kit right there. Batteries, the charging hub, gimbal guard, RC2, the drone itself, and the bag. Okay.
Bill, I'm going to stop you for a second. I know you don't have the Avata 2, but did you see the case and some of the unboxing for the Mini 5 Pro? It looks like the wider style case that the Avata 2 comes in, rather than the thinner style case we've been used to with our minis.
Right. Yeah, I did see that. You're right. That's
wider. Yeah.
That's a really good point. And I'm
again, it looks very much like the Avata 2 Fly More combo case.
Yeah, you know, and it's interesting why they chose to do that. Maybe, well, we all know the Mini 5 Pro is a bigger drone than the Mini 4 Pro. You know, and I think maybe width-wise, and I think in the bag, I think they probably want to make sure that everything fits in there nicely and is compact with that. But to be honest with you, Ron, okay, I'll tell you what. Once I get this, now, good friends, by the way, your good friends at Start RC reached out to me. They're going to be sending me a case to review already. I got an email from them. So stay tuned for that. And I know you'll probably get one as well. But it was nice that they reached out right away. I really like that. So that's on its way.
Let's stop you for a second. Bill Grayson in chat has an interesting question. He says, if you order the Mini 5 Pro, make sure you order the Combo Plus for the longer flight batteries, probably the type. Now, that's a question. Have we seen any details, Bill? That Fly More combo that everybody's getting for like $1,100 and some odd dollars. Are the 3 batteries in there the standard batteries, 36-minute, or are they the 52-minute batteries?
We're going to go to that here in a second, because I'm going to bring up the listing that I used to purchase it this morning, and we'll take a look and see what that says. And that's, Bill, thank you for bringing that up. That's a great question here. So so you know what, let's see here. You know what, we're going to go into that right now here, and I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Now I'm going to share you now this seller that I found on eBay here. Okay, it's 102_store00. All right.
Yeah, he's one of the first guys that pops up when you search eBay.
Exactly, and he had no tariffs in U.S. and that was the thing that drew me. Now he does charge $100 for expedited shipping, and it's via FedEx, which is nice.
So Bill, maybe the tariffs are $100, so he's just converting them over to shipping.
That's very possible right here. Okay, now we're taking a look here. We're in the specs: sensing, video transmission, battery, 2590 milliamp hours. Charger, DJI 30-watt USB-C. That's interesting. It has a DJI
30-watt charger coming with it.
30-watt charger with it. Now, the capacity there, 2590 milliamp hours. Interesting. I don't know if that is going to be the extended batteries or not.
I doubt, I'm kind of doubting. So everybody's on the Fly More combo. Maybe I prefer just to order the standard combo and try to get 2 of the plus batteries.
That's true. That's very true. Now let's go back here, and
I'm a Part 107. My drone's going to be registered. I don't plan on traveling outside the U.S. anytime soon. So 250 grams doesn't do anything for me or mean anything.
Right. That's not. Yeah, I agree. I don't think that's really going to be of a good consequence here. Now I'm getting the other listing back up from Drone XL, and I want to take a look here and see if I can find about the battery. That was a great point, Bill. Thank you for bringing that up. Website description. Okay, camera specification and functions.
And Bill, this is a little sidetrack, but Mikey told me this back when the Mini 4 came out. He preferred the plus batteries because it makes the drone a little bit heavier, and the drone actually performs better. It gets tossed around less.
That's true. That's a really good point. That's a really good point here. And I'm not seeing this here. Part one talks about the features, but it doesn't talk about the battery itself.
Lauren put in the chat, he says, Ron, they are standard. The longer life ones put it over 250 grams. So
okay.
I guess you have to order them separately. They won't come with any kits.
Okay, Lauren, thank you for posting that. That's great information. Thank you. We now know that.
Yeah.
Okay,
and I don't know about other Canada or some of the other countries, but remember in Europe, they could not even order the plus batteries the European uses when the Mini 4 Pro came out with that battery.
That's right. So absolutely.
You may not see a whole lot of that battery if it's kind of for, if it excludes Europe.
Now, other things I want to do right now too, is I want to go out there and show you guys what's available right now out on eBay. And this was as of the time of the show here. It said 23 results, but there's not that many there. See, these ones are for pre-order in Florida. Somebody has one in Miami for $2,150. Somebody here, another one in Miami, $1,999. Another $1,899 out in California. Now, here are some other ones here, okay? This one's South Korea. This one's South Korea. And there's only two here. So we're going to go ahead and go into some of these listings here. Now, they've already sold. You can see pre-order ships September 23rd via UPS right here. And this is $1,290. But it does state right here, due to U.S. policies, import fees for this item will need to be paid customs. Now, it doesn't say anything about tariffs right here. But one of the other things I wanted to point out, a lot of people were asking about the extended warranty. Here's the option right here under added to watch list. Additional service available. 3-year accidental protection plan from AllState, $109. And that's something I would highly recommend because it's an all-inclusive kind of plan without any doubt right there. Okay. Right. Now, this one right here, it talks about, they really spend a lot of time talking about import duties and customs right here. Effective August 29th, the duty-free.
That's the screen you're reading from is not showing. We're only seeing the main page.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Ron. That's StreamYard. I'm not a big fan of them. They should be able to flip when you flip screens here. Okay.
Right.
All right.
There we go. Now we're seeing it.
Okay. Right here, additional service available where you're seeing that 3-year accidental protection plan from AllState, $109.
That's only about $30 a year. That's not bad, right?
Not bad at all.
A year.
No, this one has free shipping.
Okay.
And note, it doesn't say anything in the title about tariff free right here. All right.
Is that South Korea, Bill?
This is South Korea. Expected to ship, it said, on September 23rd. A pre-order ship September 23rd. And go down here. Now, the first part of this right here, it talks about customs and duty fees right here. Postal shipments, FedEx, DHL, UPS, and other express customers. Immediate application of U.S. Customs general duty rates based on product type, origin, and value here. Okay. And then it lists shipping information, handling time, 5 to 7 business days, excluding weekends and holidays. Expedited shipping, delivery 4 to 7 business days. Standard shipping 7 to 14 business days. They do have a return policy, and that's something that you need to do. And again, always check the feedback. Not only down here, but when you go up to the seller itself, and you can take a look. It'll list. This one's 99.5% positive. So, and they've had 943 transactions. So, this is probably a very trusted seller right here. So this would probably be good. But again, be wary. You may have to pay tariffs on this one. Okay. That's
but before you leave this listing, Zach's saying that, how do you say, that one has a plus battery. The check that listing. Does it say anything about having a plus battery?
Yeah, let's take a look down here and see here. He doesn't list specs here in the describe. DJI Mini 5 Fly More Combo plus RC2 drone. Pre-order ship September 18th. Okay.
That would make sense. That would make sense that this one costs more if it had the plus battery.
Yeah, it has the plus battery in it. So so that's something that you guys can be aware of. And again, with something like this, you know, you really need to double check and triple check these sellers right here. Now we're gonna go the other one because I want to walk you guys through. I want to walk you guys through a couple of these right here. Now,
before we stop you for a second, Lauren and Ted are having a chat in the comments here, and Lauren's telling Dr. Ted that the biggest improvement over the Mini 4 is the camera. It is quite a bit better. So thanks. That's great information, Lauren.
And what we're going to do is we're going to check out. Now, this was a seller that several people have used already. And it's DW store 13. They currently don't have a Mini 5 Pro listed. My guess is probably after midnight tonight. Remember, again, and this is something you need to take into consideration if you're asking questions with them and wanting some feedback. Remember, during the day, it's nighttime over there, okay? Because, and of course, you know, you cross the international date line, it's a different date as well, too. But remember, the hour difference is huge right here. So, you know, when you're sending them a message, don't expect to send something in an hour or two, okay? It's going to be overnight. So if you want to get a response, stay up like late, like after 11, 12 o'clock at night, send them a message, and then you'll be able to get something back on them.
Bill, I suspect here, you know, DW doesn't have them because the other guys don't have them either. They're just on pre-orders. The stores that you showed have them, they don't have the drone. They just anticipate they will be able to get the drone and ship it or whatever. So
now
DW may have it when it really actually is available. They're just not doing a pre-order.
Right. And Tom Dowling sent a message out about that, and he said they don't put it out there until tomorrow. So the listing won't be out. Now I'm imagining because tomorrow is going to be is already there for them because the international date line. I would say like later tonight, you know, early in the morning, if those listings will be out there. So be on the lookout for that. All right. Just to kind of be aware.
Yeah.
Now,
and these pre-orders that aren't really shipping until the 23rd or whatever. I mean, you know, if the DW has them tomorrow, it's not going to come any later than the pre-orders that aren't shipping until the 23rd. I mean, the pre-orders not doing you a whole lot of good because the pre-orders, these people don't have the items, so they're not really shipping anytime, you know, soon in the near future. Just be aware of that. The pre-order thing is, you know, how big of a deal is that? The people don't even have the product.
Exactly. You know, they're anticipating being able to get the product, and the dates that they give you are based on them being able to purchase these. Okay. Now here's another listing, and again, this is from someone. They're over in South Korea. They do have a 2-year accident protection plan. Pre-order will ship on September the 25th. They're 96.8% positive. They've had 29 purchases. So I mean, you want to kind of be a little leery and a little careful on something like this. Free expedited shipping from outside the U.S. And you want to make sure, and again, they have the shipping policy is what we've been seeing here. DJI Mini 5 Pro Fly More Combo with RC2 controller drone pre-order ships September 18th. Okay. And then you can see shipping information down here and about the seller. And again, they have some good feedback, but you know, this is something they have under, they've only sold 29 units. So, you know, with something like that, you probably want to be a little on the leery side with something like that because they really don't have a full history with something regarding this. Okay. So be very, like I said, be very careful when you're going out there looking for, you know, one of the other things, and I'm glad Bill Grace brought this up and Lauren as well too, that if you want to get the plus battery, that it mentions it somewhere in that listing. Okay. Now we're going to go back here, and one of the other things.
Hey, Bill, but we're not even sure about whether any combos even include the plus battery. With the Mini 4 Pro, was there anything such as buying a combo that actually came with a plus battery in it?
You know, I'm trying to
remember.
remember, Ron, because it's been it's been a while ago. So
I think I purchased my Mini 4 just as a standard kit, and I purchased my Plus battery separately.
Now, one thing it says on the one that I went ahead and purchased, it did say Plus right here. DJI Mini 5 Pro Fly More Combo Plus RC2.
Oh,
okay. So no, and again, no tariffs in the U.S. Now, the DW store that I showed you, and remember that that's an option for you guys as well. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to see if I can do a cut and paste on this. Okay, yeah, and it brings up actual feedback, and these are always very good to look at. So I'm going to drop this in the chat so you guys can have this, because again, this is a good one because there's no tariffs in the United States, and that's a great price, even though you're paying $100 for shipping. And this is a plus. So all told, I think this is a good deal. And if they have more out there, I mean, when I was out there this morning, Ron, he had 10 of them, and within probably about 2 hours or 8 of them, they were gone. Okay, within 2 hours. All right, so you gotta not hesitate. You have to just react and just take care of that.
Okay. Hey, Bill, can I stop you? John Rockers asked this question a couple times in the chat. How does the warranty hold with these foreign sellers? Well, John, you really have no warranty in the U.S. anymore because, if you sent your drone back to repair for DJI, they can never get it back to you again through customs. So essentially, you don't have a warranty anymore with a DJI drone if you live in the U.S.
And that's a real good question, John. What I've showed you on the other listings, and they had this on here, it just doesn't show, but I purchased an AllState protection plan for 3 years for $109. And they're incredibly easy. It's incredibly easy to use. It's like Asurion. It's incredibly easy to use. It's backed up 100% fully. And if they can't replace it, you'll get your money back. All right. It's kind of bulletproof. So that is what I would highly recommend that you guys do. It's well worth your investment. $109 for a 3-year plan. I mean, I know that's based on the price of the drone. I don't know, it could be more like on if you ordered a Mavic 4 Pro creator combo. I don't know about that. But for this, $109 for a 3-year plan, Ron, is a great deal. I mean, and there's no deductible on this either. And it's very easy to address. Now, last night, if you remember on Drone Nation, we were finding out that store in New York City, and I think Eddie confirmed it, and I think Josh confirmed it last night too, is that they will actually do repairs there. You can do mail order repairs to that store in New York City. And Josh, if you're watching, if you could drop a link in the chat.
Remember the guy that works at the store was at that meetup, the Northeast meetup, but he gave some of that info firsthand. So, Dr. B says, Bill, but where will you get service? Well, the only place we know officially is that New York store. But again, where will you get any of your drone service, Dr. Ted? There, basically, if say right now, Bill, I have an Air 3S that I'm still in my year warranty and I have care refresh. I crash that drone, I send it back into DJI. I'll probably never get that drone back again. So I really don't have any service or repair now.
Okay. And John from CT Pirate, he dropped the link for the store in New York City right there. So you guys can have that. And John, you did ask this question. Can they say the drone should not have been sold in the US? No, because if they're offering it, right here, on the listing itself, that means it has to be valid in the country. So, no, they can't say that. So in other words, it's going to be good. You're going to be good no matter what. If you purchase that AllState protection plan for 3 years for $109. Now it does come back with a 30-day money back guarantee. Now, a lot of these drones are able to be returned. Some are not. So you need to be real careful in that listing.
And you need to find out who pays the return shipping, Bill, because that's important, because you have to ship it back to a place like South Korea. It won't be cheap.
Right. Buyer pays for return shipping. Now, you would want to do something like probably UPS would probably be your best bet. FedEx is probably going to be a little bit pricey. Don't even think about USPS. And go out to a company called Pirate Ship. and they do everything for you, especially with customs paperwork and all that. You fill everything out, the value of it and everything, and you can send it back that way. And it'll generate the label and tracking for you and all that. So,
JB Miller asks, does AllState cover flyaways?
Again, you have to go out to AllState's website to get absolute total specifics on that. But again, guys, I can't emphasize this enough. Okay. It's going to be a calculated risk you're getting these drones. Okay. In the first place. All right. In the second place, AllState is all inclusive. It said accident protection. Okay. So you need to read the policies themselves. And if someone has a link to one of the policies, please go ahead and post a link in the show notes for that. If I find one, I'll throw it on Build a Drone Reviewer, so you guys on the Facebook group and page, so you guys can have that. I don't know that specifically, but I do know it does say 3-year accident protection, which includes everything. Okay, I mean, so I'm going to assume it would include something like flyaways. So just to let you guys know.
The answer to Zach's question out there is Drone Nation doing a release party tomorrow morning. Yes, we are. We'll be on the air no later than 8 a.m.
We'll be there right around bright and early with having some caffeine and ready to go.
We don't have to really get there early anymore because we used to have to order. We don't have to order anymore, so it's less hectic.
Okay, John, for a factory defect, okay, again, that's something you would probably have to that URL that John CT Pirate put in there, call the DJI store up. I don't know about that. Again, as I just said, you're taking a calculated risk with something like this. All right, you're banking on the fact that the DJI's quality control has done a great job on that the drone will work out of the box. Okay, if it doesn't work out of the box, you have a 30-day return with these people. So that's why you go ahead and you would send that back to the person you purchased it from on eBay. So that would be something that you would need to look for when you would go ahead and make that purchase on eBay, is to go out there and make sure they have returns are allowed. Okay. Some have no returns on there. So you need to be very careful when you're going out there and you're making that purchase. Okay.
Yeah, Tom said to be careful about the flyaways. Of course, Bill, with the last couple of generations of DJI drones, flyaways have become almost a thing of the past, Bill.
Oh, yeah. Will eBay cover you for any fraud? They always do, MHM. They're always good for that. If they don't come through, you will get your money back. And
eBay, in fact, I don't sell on eBay anymore because they so favor the buyer that it's almost unfair to be a seller in there. That's how much they go with the buyer or the seller.
Yeah, I've run into some instances. I sold some ham radio equipment, and the guy said it was partially defective. So I offered it. I didn't have any choice. I offered a partial refund, and he was fine with that. To go ahead and get the
that's the whole game. That's the whole game. They know you don't want to. They know you don't want to pay to ship it back to them. So they get them to take money off of it.
Yeah. And and in some instances, Ron, eBay's probably one of the only places you can actually list stuff because some things are really hard to try to sell. I avoid Facebook Marketplace like the plague because there's a lot of scammers out there. It's something that you just run into a lot of unscrupulous people. Now, one of the things that I do,
if you're a buyer, but if it's a seller, I like it because I mostly don't. Marketplace they're gonna quit shipping in like in a month or whatever. Everything has to be meetups or whatever. So I like the fact that I meet up somebody on Marketplace, sell them a drone or any piece of technology. Once they pay me that cash, I never have to talk to that person again. They can't claim all this stuff that doesn't work right or whatever. Once you meet up in person, it's no. The buyer can't come back when you claim it doesn't work or this, that, or the other.
Several times I've actually sold drones. I've advertised them out on my Facebook groups, and I had them pay me via PayPal. I would send them an invoice, and I wouldn't do it as friends and family. I would do it as an invoice, and I would make sure that I charge enough. PayPal takes a little bit of a cut, but not much. Okay. And you do have some protection there with PayPal. You know, one of the things that I've always asked, and what I do when I have as a seller on eBay, a couple things that I do. Number one, I don't accept any returns. Okay. You know, even though I state that in there, you know, if they insist on a return, 9 times out of 10, you can give them a partial refund. And that's worked in my instances. All right. The other thing is a couple things. One, United States buyers only. Okay. That's embedded in my listing, and I have my settings for that. Anybody from a foreign country cannot come in and purchase an item from me. The other thing that I put in there, PayPal only with confirmed United States address, because I had one instance, I'd gotten a tablet from this company to review, and they never got back to me, and it's brand new. I just went out there, I just sold that. And the gentleman who purchased it was using a drop ship address in Miami that ships it down to Colombia, South America. Okay.
Yeah.
So what I did was and UPS couldn't find it. Okay. They said it was undeliverable, and the guy still wanted me to sell to him. I said, no. I said, we're done. Okay. I said, you know, my bad. As soon as I relisted it, I got it sold. But again, you know, lesson learned with things like that. You know, you need to be super careful and make sure that these addresses line up and things like that. So, I just, kind of the way things are. So, all right.
Just to sum it up, Bill, the good old days of having, you know, all your warranties and protections and support from DJI are gone if you live in the U.S.
Exactly.
Not DJI's fault.
No, it's not DJI's fault. You have some alternatives. And I know John, CT Pirate, he dropped that in the chat tonight, and thank you for that, John. Appreciate that. So you have a place where you can get it repaired, and it's quote unquote DJI authorized service center. So, you know, you have an option to get it fixed here in the United States. So if you need to do that, do that. Okay. And again, you have to assume some of these risks here. Okay. When you're purchasing from South Korea, all right, when you're purchasing from and Japan as well too. No Japan sellers have popped up, but again, you know, that's probably going to be an option as well to pop up on there, and you'll probably see that as you go overnight with that. And the other thing is with all this, all right, if you really want to get one, go through that listing, pour through it, make sure it's exactly what you want, make sure you understand about the tariffs, make sure you understand, you know, about returns on it and shipping and ship time. You know, you need to go out there and see. A lot of times we'll say 5 to 7 days handling time. Okay. Which is, you know, not far out of reach, but a lot of these are telling you embedded in the title when they're going to ship these. Okay. So, and that's something you can definitely hold them to. You need to do your due diligence when you go out there. Just don't click the buy button. Okay. Read through the listing very carefully. Make sure it says plus if you want to get the plus battery with that. Make sure it has everything in there. Make sure that it's just triple check everything before you hit buy on that. All right. I mean, you have the recourse of canceling the order. You can do that, but a lot of times, you know, the seller's going to question why, what was wrong. You know, you say you made a mistake or whatever. Okay. Be real careful here, guys. That's all. It's one of the things I can say is just to be super, super careful. Any comments on that, Ron?
Yeah, I agree with you, Bill. And of course, right now, you probably have a nice window to cancel, because since they don't even have the product yet, you mean once somebody ships the product, you usually can't cancel, right? But this thing's not going to ship for another week or so. So you do have a window. If you see a better one someplace else for less money, you probably do have a window where you can cancel.
Now, MHM Photography, Bill, do you feel comfortable to sell? Yes, I do. And let me show you why here, okay? This seller is 99.6% positive and has had 21,932 transactions listed on eBay, okay? So I feel very, and I went through the feedback as well, too, on this, and he does have 30 days returns on here. He took they take a great, incredible amount of different payment forms with that too. One of the other things I want to let you guys know.
Well, before you go on, Bill, I want to say you'll feel a lot more comfortable when that Mini 5 Pro is actually sitting in your desk, though.
Yeah, that's for sure. When I get a tracking number and it comes in and everything and it arrives here fine. One of the other things that I wanted to say as far as financing is concerned, and I found this out recently, and I want to make you guys aware of this. if you use Affirm, and I've used Affirm before in the past, okay, what you can do is, it doesn't show as an option on eBay, but you can go out to Affirm, not on the app, but on the desktop version. All right. And what you can do is you go to the last column on there, and it has card. And what Affirm will do is you will put in amount, say you have $5,000 available in Affirm credit. Okay. You would go ahead and put an amount that you would want, say $4,000. I'm just throwing this out there. And then you would click several buttons. And what it does is it generates a quote unquote Visa card for you that you can use on eBay to do something like that. I don't know if you guys have used Affirm before or not. I really like them. Okay. And I like them for several reasons. It's easy to track. Number one. Number two, it really does well with your credit. Okay. When you pay off items on there, it really helps your credit out.
Good.
I use it a lot for high dollar, high volume purchases, like on Amazon. And here in this instance, I didn't use Affirm, but I'm going to be using Affirm to purchase something else coming up, probably more than likely Mavic 4 Pro creator combo. I think I'm probably going to go ahead and get that coming up here after I get a couple of things sold. But Affirm is an option. Keep that in mind as well too when you're doing things like that. PayPal has different options. You can have, there's a pay in 4. They also have a pay monthly plan as well too. And again, that's based on what you have, your history with PayPal, and what you have available with them as well too. So just take all this into consideration. Really think through these things, guys, when you go out there and do this. Okay. Now, we're concluding the drone portion of the program here, and we're going to talk football in 5 minutes. And one of the things that I want to do is I have a commentary here. All right. And this isn't drone related, but many of you know where I stand politically. All right. And that's not, I'm pretty sure you guys know that. All right. But we don't talk about that here on the show. Many of you know that I'm a Christian, and I don't hide that fact at all. Okay. In fact, I'm rather proud of that fact that I am a born again Christian. One of the things that I want to say is this. Okay. Hate has no business in this country. All right. My mother, in growing up, and I'll give you a real quick Reader's Digest version here. All right. She forbid me. Okay. I could cuss, but using the word hate pretty much was tantamount to get my mouth washed out with soap. All right. She abhorred using the word hate. And I'll never forget, it's like the Cincinnati Reds beat the Pirates in the playoffs. And I said, I hate the Reds. Okay. I got scolded for that. All right. And and since then, I never use that word. I do not use that word hate. The word dislike I do not use the word hate. Okay. And what we witnessed last week on September the 10th, okay, has no business or place in this country. Okay. You can disagree with me and my politics. I can disagree with you and your politics. You can disagree with my religion. I can disagree with your religion. But you know what? That's where it needs to end. And we can have a meaningful dialogue about that. All right. What happened September 10th to Charlie Kirk was unspeakable. And it was because I read today a quote from the alleged shooter that he hated Charlie Kirk. All right. And hate has no business in here. A mother, a wife is without a husband, and a son and a daughter are without a father now for the rest of their lives because of hate. And what we need to do is we need to eliminate hate in this. We need to come to terms. And that's one of the things that Charlie did. Now, I can say this. I followed him for several years, and hate was not in his vocabulary either. And he was very strong about his faith. And I think one of the big takeaways that we need to do is this: we need to stop the hate. All right. We need to just stop that and come together as a country and as a nation. And one of the things that he was doing was promoting that dialogue, because he said, when you don't have that dialogue, that's when hate is allowed to flourish. So make sure that we do that. So I wanted to get this out here. I wanted to do that, because I know a lot of you people are talking about this, and I love all you guys, whether you Republican or Democrat, whatever religion you are, I love all you guys. All right. You know that. All right. I could care less what you are. I just want, my big thing is, I get along great with all you guys. And I think you guys get along great with all of me. So, okay. All right. Commentary time is done. It's time. We finished the drone show, finished the commentary time. We're going to talk about Steeler Nation right now. Okay. Ron,
they played the Seattle Seahawks this weekend, right, Bill?
They played the Seattle Seahawks this weekend, and I am at a loss because what I can do, because I don't have NFL Sunday Ticket, I do have NFL Red Zone. Okay. So I pretty much can watch a large part of games by I had NFL Red Zone on. Okay.
Yeah.
That muff of that in the end zone. All right, Ron, it is indescribable to me, and a lot of the Pittsburgh sports writers were trying to assess the blame on this. And one of the most popular radio talk show in Pittsburgh, it's called The Fan, 93.7 The Fan. Unequivocally, they pointed the finger at Mike Tomlin on that, okay? Because you put in a rookie to return kicks, okay? And you haven't taught him 100%. He knows what to do in every instance out there, and he goes and he does not follow through, okay? And it really cost him the game, Ron.
And the pressure's on that the rookie Johnson, the running back, because he was supposed to come in and be the starting running back this year, and he really didn't show much in training camp.
Exactly here. Exactly.
So, Pittsburgh kind of hung their hat on drafting this big-time rookie running back, and so far, he really hasn't delivered for him. You think that was the turning point of the game, huh?
Oh, absolutely, without a doubt. And then, of course, they have touted that they have the number one defense in the NFL. Okay,
one of the highest paid defenses in the league, Bill.
Yeah, Ron, they're breaking their arm to pat themselves on the back, and they can't. I've seen high school players tackle better than them. Okay, they can't tackle, they can't cover. I mean, and this is the Seahawks, and no difference to any of you who are Seahawks fans out there. All right.
But they're kind of a rebuilding phase right now, right?
Exactly. You put it so well, Ron. They're rebuilding right now at this point, all right? They just took it to the Steelers the rest of the way. There was no contest there, all right? And Aaron Rodgers, God bless him. He's, 41 years old, all right?
At least, maybe more,
yeah. He beats the Jets. And, okay, wow, yeah, we're real good. We beat the Jets, all right?
Hey, four touchdowns in the Steeler debut.
Yeah, in the Steeler debut, and then he throws a real critical interception in this game. And this is against the rebuilding Seahawks, all right? Now, people are saying, oh, well, look at this. They got 2 games coming up with Cincinnati, and Joe Burrows is going to be out. I said, you know what? I don't care. Whoever their backup is, he's going to torch the defense, okay?
I forget the backup. That guy's pretty good. He's replaced Browning. I mean, the other guy before and played pretty good, Burrow.
Yep, he did. So, don't
you think that Pittsburgh, defense, is it the talent or is the scheme or whatever not right there? Or what, how can it go wrong with all those guys?
Yeah. I mean, Ron, the table is loaded on defense here, okay? I mean, you really, you do some, you get rid of Minica, which he was a problem. He was like a virus in the locker room. Okay, you'd send him back to Miami, and you get one of their cast-offs, so to speak. All right, and he's supposedly a good cornerback and everything. And
he has been in the past, yeah.
And he has been in the past, exactly. Okay, and you ante up to Cam Hayward, okay, and stop his crying and whining and everything.
Yeah.
And again, he had a less than stellar game. He was non-existent. It was just like
taking into account this game, and then barely. The Jets, they played one of the worst teams. Look, and they needed a 60-yard field goal to pull that Jet game out. Do you think this is the year the bottom falls out in Pittsburgh, and they finally have to replace the coach.
Yeah, John Rocker. Yeah, he stopped. Okay, there's no question about that. All right, I'm expecting probably within the next couple of games he's going to get hurt. Okay, something will tweak. The old man will fall down and go boom, and twist his ankle and be out for 3 or 4 weeks.
Well, Bill,
Mason Rudolph will come
whose fault is it that since Roethlisberger retired, they had a Pickett 1 year, then they went to the old quarterbacks club with Russell Wilson, and then they 1 year, and then now they who came up with a long-term plan of replacing Roethlisberger with over the hill Super Bowl winning quarterbacks?
Well, there's 2 schools of thought to that, Ron. Okay,
if Rodgers may have well kept playing if they wanted an old quarterback, right?
Yeah. Okay, there were 2 schools of thought to this. Okay, one said that Roethlisberger didn't want to have to mentor his replacement, and he didn't want to have to look over his shoulder by having somebody better sitting on the bench. Okay,
right.
The other school of thought is Rooney couldn't give a flying leap. Okay, now I'm talking about Art Rooney II. Okay, not Dan Rooney. Okay, Dan Rooney ran the football team the way it should be ran. Okay, and unfortunately, a few years ago, he passed away. He was the one, and a lot of people don't remember this, when they had the famous drafts in 1970. Okay, he was the architect of that. Okay, his dad, Art Rooney Sr., he was smoking his cigar. Dan Rooney was the one that was in there, got these picks. Mean Joe Green, Terry Bradshaw, Lambert, Holmes, Swan, Stallworth, the whole 9 yards. Okay, he was the one. He was.
You forgot Franco.
And Franco, yeah, he architected all that. All right, and then with everything that went on, all right, and in 2009 when they won the Super Bowl, all right, let's be real crystal clear with that. Okay, Tomlin was head coach, but you know what? That was Bill Cowher's team. Okay. It was no questions asked. All right. Everybody that was on that team was there and in place because of Bill Cowher.
So that was kind of like when Barry Switzer won a Super Bowl with the Cowboys with Jimmy Johnson's team.
Exactly. Okay. Now, 2 years later in 2011, okay, the year I got married to Valerie, all right, we're in the Super Bowl. And it was a week I was getting married, against Green Bay. And our buddy, Mr. Aaron Rodgers, okay?
Yeah.
And who was head coach? Tomlin, all right?
Okay.
He screwed up so bad, okay? They lost that game because of coaching decisions, purely. I mean, everybody, my friends, 100% agree with me, okay? That game was easily won, and Tomlin screwed up, okay? He absolutely, totally screwed that up. So Aaron Rodgers' lone Super Bowl victory was at the expense of the cliche clown. Pure and simple.
The standard is the standard, Bill.
The standard is the standard. Okay. And you know what? And I've said this to Ron before, but you know what's real? It is just hilarious. I could take a press conference 3-4 years ago. All right. Insert that onto the timeline for on the Steeler page. It sounds exactly the same. Okay. There's no difference. All right. Well, we didn't execute well on the weighty downs. Okay. All right. And all right. Got it. My hat's off to Seattle. They're a good football team. All right. He says that all the time. All right. And when you don't score more points than your opponent, it usually doesn't end up in your favor. I'm like, good Lord. Well, and you know why? And I think I've told Ron this. He majored in English in college, okay? So no wonder why he's out there with all these eloquent phrases and telling everybody, this and that and everything else. He's covering his tracks, all right? And I got to say this, Ron. I think this is going to be the year, all right? He's not going to finish. He's going to finish under 500, and the hammer's going to come down because the minority owners of the Steelers, all right? And when I say minority, the Rooneys own the majority, 51% of the shares. The other 49%, and that's what I refer to as a minority, or I want to make sure that I'm real clear on that, okay? The 49%, they are fed up. They are disgusted. They want to pass, the other thing too is,
Bill, what would the fan base do to have Chuck Noll back in his prime in the 70s?
Or somebody put the other day, Bill Cowher in his prime. My God. I mean, Joey Porter Sr., okay, he would wear, the whole reason he had a shield on wasn't to protect his eyes, when he's out there playing. Also, too, he said anytime he would go to talk to Cower, he'd have his helmet on because Cower would spit all over the place, okay? Because he would just the way he talked, all right? It was incredible. But no, you would see Cower up and down the sidelines. He would be yipping at the refs, yipping at the players, engaging with the players. Tomlin stands there like this the whole game, okay?
They say that he doesn't talk to anybody in silence. He only talks to whoever's on the other end of that. That's it.
Earpiece. He doesn't. Nobody else. Okay. And
hey, Bill, could you see Chuck Noll in his prime if that rookie would have fumbled that kick?
That guy would have been eviscerated, Ron. He would have ripped him a new one. Okay. He wouldn't have stopped. That guy would be crawling back to the locker room. Okay. He wouldn't be walking. He'd be crawling back there. Okay. This kind of stuff is uncalled for. And finally, a lot of Steeler fans are finally starting to see the light, because you go out there and you go onto the Steeler page after a game, especially after a loss. Okay. I support Tomlin. He's a great coach, all this stuff, and I'm wondering, and I go to one of my friends from Pittsburgh, I wonder how many of those are bots that the Steelers pay to put that out there. Okay. In AI, because it's ridiculous. Okay. And somebody went and somebody did this, and somebody accused me of this too. Okay. Well, you're racist. And I'm like, well, you know what? Okay. They said, name me a coach that you would have in the NFL that's African-American for the Steelers. I said, you know what? Todd Bortles, the coach of the Buccaneers. He's African-American. Mm-hmm. Ron, he's a great coach. I love him. Okay. I would take him in a nuclear second. Okay. You know what? It has nothing to do with the color of Tomlin's skin. It has everything to do with his ability to coach, which it doesn't exist. All right. And a lot of people don't remember, all right, he was a defensive backs coach for the Minnesota Vikings, all right, when he got picked. And you know what, Ron? When during that time, they were last in the league on pass defense. All right. Yeah. All right. That tells you all you need to know about this clown. Okay. He's just a total clown. And I said, the best thing, the only reason I got excited about Aaron Rodgers, and Ron and I've shared this with Ron before, was the fact he got coaches fired.
He's a coach killer. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a coach killer. So maybe we'll have some good luck. I mean, that would be the best Christmas present in the world for me is to see Tomlin.
And then they could start anew again next year or whatever, of turning new people and things.
Yeah. Well, I said the only thing Tomlin
send the GM packing too.
Yeah. Okay. Omar Khan. Well, one of the legacy Pittsburgh sportscasters said Omar Khan should be general manager of the year for all the moves that he did last year. And I'm like, this is before the season even started. And I'm like, whoa, we haven't even snapped the daggone football yet. And you want to crown him. Okay. And he has done the thing. And look what a travesty the season was. Okay. Oh, by the way, okay, I don't know if you watched any of the Bills game, which I thought was a great game. Did you see any of that?
Remind me who the Bills played this weekend.
They won with, oh gosh, I'm forgetting who. Not Houston, not Miami. I forget who they played.
Yeah, I don't think we had that game in this market, but I know.
Yeah, I was able to watch that on I think it was on Sunday night or not? I'm not sure, but anyway, okay. All right. Josh Allen got hit and busted up his nose. Guess who came in and threw a couple of completions?
Oh yeah, you're
my buddy Mitch Trubisky. Okay, he came in and boom, he got him downfield. I'm like, got him in position there. I was like, wow.
That's the only place Mitch could play is Buffalo. He couldn't play in Chicago. He couldn't play in Pittsburgh.
But he's playing. He's doing fine in Buffalo. Go figure that. So, all right, guys. Ron, you have anything else to close out?
No, I mean, Bill, we better get off of here and get our beauty sleep for tomorrow morning at 8 a.m.
Yes, we have to do that. RJ Redding, you're welcome.
Thanks, RJ.
Thank you guys for being such a. You guys are the best. In the chat. You guys bring up so many good comments. I try to highlight as many of them as I can. Ron tries to help me with that as well. You guys do a great job with that. Thank you for your kind comments about the commentary. It comes from the heart. I mean, bottom line is there's no place for hate or division in this country. Okay, we need to be there for each other. Okay, no questions asked. So hope you guys have a great rest of your evening. Be sure to watch Drone Nation tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Okay, I'm going to be there. Ron's going to be there. We may have the birthday boy.
Johnny's bringing the coffee.
Johnny's going to bring the coffee and the Cajun donuts tomorrow morning. So we'll be having a good time. So as always, guys, it's a great day to fly. Take care. See you in the morning.
Good night.